Hi, I'm Christine Chang. When it comes to dating and relationships, you might have heard make a list. Make a list of qualities that you would want in a future partner. I don't completely agree with that. I do think it's a good idea to make a list to gain clarity of things that you value. However, if you just make a list to have a checklist and you're dating going down a checklist, that is not a way to attract your soulmate or create the relationship of your dreams. The feeling might be similar to having a particular goal. If any of you have had a specific goal, Mavis, this is not the time to play with squeaky toy, okay? Let everyone see you. This is our neighbor's dog. Hi, I know you like to play. Not while I'm recording, okay? If you've ever had a specific goal, you might have experienced reaching for this goal. And as soon as you reach it, you might be happy for a little bit, like, yes, I did it, I got it. But shortly after, you might, Mavis, if you've ever experienced having a goal you're really excited about, and eventually you reach this goal, you might have a moment of excitement, and then shortly after, you may feel like, now what? On to the next goal. Similarly, if you make a list of qualities you would like in a partner, you may meet that person eventually. However, you might find yourself still unsatisfied, or like, why don't I feel happier now that I've met my person? When you do make the list, I think first you should write, just don't think, and just write things that you would like. We all have preferences and we know what we like. The more serious, practical stuff, and then also the fun stuff. And then the next thing you should do after that is write how you want to feel. That is more important. If you ask most people what they want, they'll say, I just want to be happy. If you are happy and you feel good, you will not care about the details going on around you as much. What is actually making you happy? If you're happy, right? And that is a more long-term way to feel fulfilled instead of short-term checklists. If you feel good, you feel good. So write down, how would you like to feel? Happy, safe, inspired, fulfilled, relaxed. Write those qualities down. After you've done that, go down the list and put a check mark or circle the ones that are truly non-negotiable for you. Because we have the fun stuff that we would like, right? Like a certain height or darker features, something like that. But are those things non-negotiables, or is it the more fun stuff that you prefer? If you know your non-negotiable core values, you will make decisions a lot faster. For example, if your core value is integrity, if someone shows you they don't have it, that is an automatic no. No matter how charming they might be, how much chemistry you have, oh, they just get me. But if they don't have integrity, this is not going to work long term. I will give you some examples from my list before I met my husband. If you haven't read my book, it looks like this, Show Up, Finding Love for Independent Women, and it's available on Amazon. So I give some examples of lists that I made and clarity questions that I asked myself before I met my husband. My non-negotiables in a partner: integrity, interested in me romantically and only me. I feel safe. I feel self-expressed. Emotional intelligence. Empathetic. Respects himself. Respects others. Loves to travel. We have great chemistry. Hardworking. Some of my negotiable preferences: similar taste in food, no kids from previous relationships, and good aesthetic taste. Those were preferences, they weren't deal breakers. And of course, all these things on my list came with experience from dating, because these lists change too, right? I initially wrote a list a long time ago, and as I dated more, I got more clarity and I started taking things off or adding things. So that's another problem with simply writing out qualities that you would like in another person, because that totally changes over time. A couple other of my non-negotiables: does not smoke, does not have unresolved issues with exes. Now, there is no right or wrong on these lists, because some people might say like, oh, you're being judgmental, like that's fucked up. You don't want to date someone that has kids from a previous relationship. Like, everyone is allowed their preferences. Again, this is based on my previous experience dating different people and what seemed to work well for me and not work well for me. So start making your list so you can gain clarity. And the clarity is very helpful, because once you have clarity, you will have more confidence when you go out and date. I think when we feel unsure is when it can feel a lot harder. Like, am I making a mistake? You start to question things. But once you have the clarity of what you want, you will be much more confident in making those decisions when you are dating. And that is basically what my entire book is about, is helping you gain clarity, because I know how frustrating it can feel when you are in the middle of almost like a hamster wheel and doing similar patterns when you're dating. Once you gain that clarity, it feels so much better. I would love to hear from you. What are some things on your non-negotiable list? Write them below.